Well, another difficult game, a Souls-like game, of course. Hollow Knight Silksong, very, very anticipated. Souls-like platformer, more or less. The vaunted sort of sequel to Hollow Knight. Very, very well known, obviously. Never really. I bought Hollow Knight because I heard it was really good. But then there was like a bunch of DLCs and shit for it and patches and stuff like that. So I wanted to wait until all of that was out before actually playing the game. I might actually then play the game than play Silksong because from what I understand, Silksong is really really good. But since it is a Souls-like game, the obvious discussion about oh man, people complaining about the game being too hard and modders deciding to compensate for that, saying that, hey, what if we just made a mod that makes it such that all enemies and bosses take double damage? Now, the inevitable sort of reactionary backlash to this always fucking happens of all these, like, gamers TM complaining about, like, oh, get good, you need to do everything possible, just be, like, not bad, just, like, deal with it, fucking idiot. And more so, we have to talk about is accessibility and the death of subjectivity because shit like this right here, pure death of fucking subjectivity. All about the death of subjectivity with these people. Hollow Knight Silksong modders have released a mod that makes the game easier on PC less than 2 days after the game is released. That's impressive. So yeah, it prevents enemies or any bosses from dealing double damage. Now, the reason why I suppose I bring up my sort of, I guess, hallmark, the philosophical sort of, you know what? I'll be that snooty. I'll say it's like my sort of hallmark, the philosophical critique of modern day internet culture, is because it's very, very prevalent when it comes to discussions like this. The reason why a lot of fucking players may want to have certain accessibility options, because this is what this is. It is an accessibility option. You don't know exactly what a player wants to get out of a game. You don't really know either why players decide to purchase the products they want to purchase. Do we know for certain why all these motherfuckers decided to buy Hollow Knight Silksong? No. And neither do random fucking dipshit gamers on the fucking internet. Nobody fucking knows. So people have heard about Hollow Knight Silksong, that there's a lot of hype around the game, and people who might not know much about Hollow Knight are probably just like, oh, you know what, I hear a lot of people talking about this, I'm gonna buy the game without fucking realizing that it's actually a really fucking hard game. Listen, like, you may be thinking to yourself, Daho, that's probably some of the stupidest cope shit on the fucking planet. But here's the problem. I have an understanding about how people operate and think. And people just think like that. Like, they get caught into, like, the FOMO. They want to fucking buy the game because they hear about it from their friends or something. And it's just like, we can just do all this stuff. Whatever. I know people who prefer mage builds in Elden Ring if they don't have the reaction time in Melee. And that's a really good accessibility option that exists within Dark Souls in particular. Now, obviously, most people are just gonna be like, get good, do the fucking sword builds and stuff like that, just roll forehead, blah 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 blah. Because a lot of, and very often in a lot of Souls-like games, in order to increase the challenge, they make ranged builds basically not as palatable, not as powerful as, say, running around with the fucking sword and beating people in the fucking head with the sword. And that's fine, right? Like, people prefer that sort of a challenge. They sort of prefer the sort of like rolling, doing like the no hit, like runs and shit like that. The challenge, how difficult it is, blah 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 blah. That's not going to be for everyone, but some people may think like, well, I bought this game for like $25 or whatever. I still want to experience it. I'm just going to make it a little easier for myself. You want to know a game that did this very, very well in terms of their difficulty systems? Clair Obscura. Clair Obscura did a fantastic job with this. If you want to have your stupid hard balls to the wall fucking boss fights and all this other fucking shit, you can do that. Like lower parrying windows, lower QTE windows, yada yada yada. You can do all that shit. Or if you just want a fucking story mode because you heard that the story within Clair Obscura is really, really good, there you go. And a lot of other games have done this, but none of them draw this exact same sort of controversy because stupid elitist dumbfucks are wholeheartedly incapable of fitting into another person's shoes and not really understanding as to the sort of like main reasonings as to why people want to purchase games. Now, I don't really know much. I don't know if like Silksong's or Hollow Knight's lore is like all up to snuff. I mean, it's a Souls-like game, right? For the most part, lore can be pretty in-depth in most Souls-like games. There's a lot typically going on in a lot of Souls-like games, and there's a lot of in-depth shit, but you have to look for it. You really, really have to look for it. You know, shoutouts to people like Vati Video, right? We all know about the GOAT, right? We know about the GOAT of basically doing deep dives into Dark Souls lore or a Souls-like games lores. Vati Video, right? So, I mean, it makes sense. Like, some people just want to experience a game for the sake of experience. They want to sort of gain, like, a sort of, like, artistic understanding. Just, like, a delve into the sort of inner machinations and thoughts that are presented within these particular games. And they don't want to deal with, like, having a ridiculously hard experience constantly. And that's fine. That's, like, totally valid. Like, the people who complain about this shit, like I've said before, death of fucking subjectivity. These people are very often incredibly out of touch fucking elitists. But I can also understand very often the position of people who just want a fucking challenge in the game. The problem that I'm mostly pointing out to here is that the fact that it's sort of like established within a sort of binary here, when it's a lot more fluid. It's a lot more fucking complicated than that. It flows. Like, it's not just as simple as just like, oh yeah, dude, you have to just, like, listen, suck it up, Buttercup, you have to do everything possible. Like, if people want to mod the game to make it less challenging, that's their prerogative, right? Like, who the fuck cares about the people who have decided to take this mod? And, like, a lot of people, a lot of fucking gaming elitists will very, very often be like, no, fuck you. Like, you have to, and they're typically a very loud minority, I will stipulate this. But they'll be like, no, fuck you. You have to play the game in its pure intended heart and form. And it's just like, why? Why does that matter? This is an artistic medium, right? Like, it's all about interpretation. If people want to experience it and interpret the things that they want to interpret from it, that's their prerogative, right? It's not as simple as just like, well, you know, I have to do everything possible in order to ensure that these people's lives are made more miserable because I'm just like a stupid fart-sniffing fucking loser. But, I don't know, what's the attached article to this? Hollow Knight's Silksong's most controversial feature has already been fixed by modders. Hollow Knight Silksong modders have been lightning fast in releasing a fan-made fix to address players' frustrations over the game's difficulty. Released on, it was the 4th of September, Team Cherry's sequel to the original Hollow Knight instantly skyrocketed up to the Steam's list of most played games. And just like I said before, a lot of people can also just go on Steam's list. They just look at the game, and they're just like, oh, this game looks like fun. Maybe I'll give it a try or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they just, like, try the game because they've heard stuff about it or they see it, that it's really popular on Steam's list, and they just, like, pick it up, and they're just, like, totally not prepared for the challenge that's associated with it. And that's valid. That's fine. Like, who the fuck cares, dude? Like, that's their prerogative. If they just want to make the game easier, or if they want to refund the game, that's up to them. Like, we don't need people to just be, like, stupid and fucking annoying about it. Like, it's obviously better and more intended to be experienced in this way. But if people want to, like, lower the challenge for themselves, they can do that. Fans of the indie Metrovania title, Jesus Christ, have had the time to sink several hours into experiencing Horn's adventure. However, one frustration has become commonplace. Like the first game, some enemies and bosses in Silksong can just deliver stronger than normal attacks that deplete more than one pip of the player's health in one hit. Difference lies in how early these bigger threats appear, even in critical paths, while health and damage upgrades are scarce. And then this is where like the get-gooders typically come in and just be like, well, just don't be bad, Forehead. Just be like good at the game, Forehead. And it's just like, well, you know what? Some people are just not built that way. Some people just can't be good, and that's okay. That's valid. Like who cares? But they still want to experience the game, so it's valid for them to install a mod like this just to make it easier for them, because they just want to experience the game. Fuck it. Like, who cares? The steep difficulty curve has become a hot topic on Reddit, with multiple threads debating Silksong's overall balance. Don't care about the threads. Having heard the frustrations, Nexus Mods user Biker uploaded a mod on September 5th that completely removes the ability for all enemies and bosses to deal more than one pip's worth of damage in a single hit. While discourse around making games intended to be difficult easier always carries with a degree of controversy. See anything developed by From Software. Great example there as always. This fucking exact same conversation when the new FromSoft game comes out, the same fucking discussion comes up. All about fucking accessibility. And it's the exact same fucking intended arguments. Death of fucking subjectivity. Although I didn't see this with Night Rain. Maybe because of Night Rain being a little different. I don't really know. Maybe I just haven't seen that discourse. Reaction to the mod has largely been welcoming. Some players took the opportunity to voice their own personal criticisms of how some aspects of the sequel have been designed. Wake me up when they make a mod that removes on-hit damage from staggered bosses, came one reply. Others point to environmental damage as their primary pain point. I think just a mod that makes all environmental damage do 1 would be fine for me. Based on this feedback, it'll be interesting to see whether Team Cherry will make tweaks as part of a balance patch. That's gonna make people, like, so fucking pissed off and mad. Like, they're just gonna be, like, so irritated. But again, like, games are meant to be enjoyed by a lot of different people. That's how video games work, and that's how art works. If a lot of people want to enjoy a thing, they can enjoy a thing. Whoa, crazy. I know that it's, like, really difficult for these, like, dumb fuck gamers to understand this particular concept, but it's just like, dog, if people want to enjoy things, they can enjoy things. Well, they should enjoy some, like, baby ass non-games journo fucking game then, and not fucking Silksong. It's just like, well, what if they just want to go through the game and just have, like, a good time with the game, learn the story of the game, like, find out the cute characters and shit like that, like the stupid dog, or like the little guy with the sewing needle making the fucking song. I've seen a bunch of clips about that stuff, and it's just like, and people just want to experience that, but they don't want to go through all the fucking hassle and bullshit of doing hard fights. That's their prerogative. They want to do that. They want to do that. I mean, like, what else is there to really say besides just, like, the elitism is what I think irritates me the most about shit like this. It's all about people just, I guess, inherently refusing to understand that people want to experience things the way that they want to experience. Death to fucking subjectivity is what heavily plays into this, especially. Like, if people want to experience a particular game in a particular way, that's their prerogative. Why are you fucking yucking their yum for, like, no reason? Oh, because, I don't know, you just want to be, like, an out-of-touch fucking weirdo about it. Like, I don't know really what else there is to say about this besides, don't yuck people's yums. If they want to fucking experience a game, how they want to experience a particular game, let them. That's totally fine. It's totally valid. Who the hell cares about any of this stuff? Fuck the stupid elitists. Accessibility options are good. Things that allow more people to play games is generally a fucking good thing. And if people want to play a fucking game that's meant to be very difficult the non-intended way, that's their prerogative. It shouldn't be anyone else's fucking business.